And we now go to Queen's Park, where we find our Faiza Amin. And Faiza, Ontario has seen its COVID-19 numbers on the rise for close to a week now. What's the province saying about that?
Well, they're saying that they do want to ramp up testing, but the majority of those cases coming out of the GTA, 64% to be exact. Now, we know that there was a slight increase in testing done today, but Ontario still isn't meeting its 20,000 daily target. As I mentioned, they want more people to get tested regardless of how mild your symptoms are. And the Premier is saying they're starting this weekend, ramping up the testing.
The last few days it's gone up, and it's concerning. These are things that you're up all night thinking about.
It's still unclear why Ontario's numbers aren't dropping.
I've heard that some people may have been more casual on the last couple of weekends than we would have liked, and so we're still encouraging that physical distancing.
And why the province isn't meeting its goal of doing at least 20,000 tests per day. One of the theories, people aren't going out to assessment centers. Also, delayed cases from long-term care homes. Despite the province having loosened the criteria for who can get tested for the virus, no matter how mild the symptoms are.
We need to get as complete a picture as we can of where this infection is occurring.
The Premier said yesterday he wants a plan in place by next week for expanded and random testing. This weekend, Doug Ford says they are ramping up testing for frontline healthcare workers and at long-term care facilities.
We're going into the seniors' homes, testing the seniors. We're testing all the staff there. We're going back into long-term care. We're checking with the staffs and the residents. Then we're going to go into communities where there's, as I say, the hot spots, and it's really the urban centers around Toronto that we've seen.
The province is considering placing mobile testing units in these hotspots. Contact tracing is key in the reopening of economies. There are more than 2,000 of them in the province who are tracking and tracing carriers and spreads. And Ottawa just recently sent 224 contact tracers to Ontario. The federal government will also help the provinces by paying for testing and swabs.
In terms of contact management, generally, we have had hundreds of people come forward to help public health with contact tracing. Medical students, others have come forward to do that.
Meanwhile, Alberta has implemented a voluntary app that's been downloaded more than 130,000 times. But the province has had challenges with the app not working in the background of certain phones. Ford says the premiers and prime minister discussed yesterday the importance of a Canada-wide system in place for contact tracing.
Privacy is very, very important, and any app that doesn't have a privacy area in it, then that's going to be difficult. People believe in privacy.
And we're seeing some retail stores opening up. I can tell you today, just looking around Queen's Park, more people outside, and we may be seeing more people going outside as the weather gets warmer. But the province still says continue practicing the physical distancing, stay home when you can, and also wear masks when you're leaving the house. And some businesses are actually requiring their patrons to be wearing these masks when they do visit the business. Premier Doug Ford says it's up to that business whether or not to let you in if you're not wearing these masks.